WWE Saturday Night Main Event 2026. We're going to do a review tonight on the show. Might talk a little bit about the Triple H show. It's live right now. There's Rey Mysterio. But we're going to talk about Saturday Night Main Event. This is Jacob Cass 2024. Hit that like button, leave a comment, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Let me know in the comment section if y'all want to see more. Bromberg wants to leave the division. We might talk a little bit about AEW Collision. I think it was on today. Yeah. So now this live stream will be like an hour and 20 minutes. Hit that like button, leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. My video is sponsored by my favorite podcasters and YouTubers like Solomon the Sound Off, Fight for Pro Wrestling, Jitty from New York. Now, it's on the 2K game. I knew the show was going to be a waste of time, that this show was going to suck. Now, we did have a pre-show with Trick Williams on. Hold on. Trying to figure out where should I start here. Now the pre-show was like 32 minutes, and we did get like a match on there. That it? Punk and Cody get their match. Aldis, Cruz, Gunther. Sami Zayn is going to blow a gasket. The show was fine. It was decent. Might be the most embarrassing show ever. This is the weakest card to a Sonic Main Event show I've ever seen. Yeah. Alright, now let's get right into this. The Triple H show won in Chicago the same day AEW All In. Alright, so hold on a second. I want to show us on the podcast first.
About 10 minutes. All that kind of getting the trophy, holding it up, milking the aura. Could have done that after.
Wrestling views, fair enough.
Paul White in the house for AEW Collision. That was tonight, I believe. We did see Obafemi on Saturday's Main Event on the pre-show. Obafemi says he is miles ahead of Brock Lesnar. That they're setting up their Hell in a Cell match for SummerSlam. What we saw on the pre-show was Trick Williams versus Leto Kid. I don't know who that is. I think he's on the Triple H show. But he wrestled Trick Williams in the 9-time match. Oh, pretty good. Trick Williams wrestled. I'm surprised they're using the pre-show. Usually they don't, but I guess they want to have more matches because there's 4 matches on the main show. We got 1 match here, so that's 5 matches. They should use the pre-show more and get more superstars on the show. Or at least have them wrestle. Trick Williams is having a pretty good title win with the U.S. Championship. Have him wrestle a filler match against someone good from the Triple H show. Trick Williams is over. He got the victory there. Now the main show, the opener was Paige and Brie Bella defending their women tag team titles against Fatal Influence. My prediction was right. Fatal Influence got the victory. They beat Paige and Brie with her the right call. It's time for someone new. Time for Brie to go away and take some time off. Paige can work as a singles wrestler and start chasing some single champions. Fatal Influence is now your champion on SmackDown. Hopefully they can start building up JC Jane to go after they won the championship. Then we can build up Fatal Influence as a dominant fashion. But they were the right person to win here. Even though, now I didn't care about the Matter Bailey Watt thing. Who cares about the women's tag team title? They're irrelevant, they're garbage, they're useless. Who cares about the tag team? Brie Bella and Paige is not a tag team, it's a makeshift tag team. They're only a team because, it was for Paige's return, because Nikki Bella sold an injury. They wanted to bring back Paige to have a return at WrestleMania. Since she won a tag team title, she has history with Brie Bella. They were champion, didn't do much with it. I'm glad they lost. Now we can focus on Brie Bella can take some time off, go away. Paige can be a singles wrestler because he's too good to be in a tag team. Fatal Influence can be built up at a dominant fashion. So Fatal Influence got the win there. They're now your tag team champion. We'll see what they do with those. After that, we got Danhausen versus JD McDonough in a no-hold-barred match. No disqualification match. Match was fine. It was decent. There was some interference here. We got Dominic got involved. Carl Anthony Towns, the NBA player on the New York Knicks. So he came out, he chokeslammed Dominic and Dijak through the table. So he got involved, because Dominic got involved. Danhausen got the victory, pinned JD McDonough. Thought the match was very good. Crowd was into it. Simpler match and Great Gardens fans love to see Carl Anthony Towns. Danhausen and JD in the no DQ match were very good. After that, we got Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Lyra at the heel, Bayley your babyface. Match was pretty good. It was decent. Lyra Valkyria got the victory. She just turned heel. She's being built at this heel superstar. She actually submitted Bayley. I think Bayley passed out by a submission. She actually put Bayley to sleep and won. So there's that. Justin Jefferson previews SummerSlam with limited time ticket. L. Minion named Jalen Bronson the newest king of New York. That's it? Or now we did get the main event between Cody Rhodes, CM Punk versus Sami Zayn and Gunther. We got the return of Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis blacked Gunther with the WWE title and caught them the match. So I predicted Cody and Punk, they win. Their match will be one-on-one. Unless the Sami Zayn gets added, it might be a triple threat, or he's gonna get involved somehow. Because Nick Aldis, now we screw over Gunther, but screw Sami. Sami's gonna be pissed. He's gonna throw a gasket. He might throw a fit. Well, clearly they're setting up Nick Aldis and Gunther for SummerSlam. That's gonna happen. We all know it's gonna happen. They've been building to this. The question is, where does Sami Zayn go? I thought the main event was fine. I thought the match was pretty good. John Moxley will operate team up to defeat the Young Bucks at Redemption. Okay.
James Parker is the only.
I'm watching AAA and UFC, and Usman and Plessis is out there.
Oh, it's the tag match. That's it. Schmitz says WWE is.
Oh.
Years.
Hold on.
So basically, this guy Jalen was injured, and he was.
I don't know why am I watching the I don't usually watch the AAA shows unless there's something interesting on here. Hold on.
Thought that was funny. But yeah, they were happy and they celebrated.
Now, what closed the show was Roman Reigns and Jalen Brunson. I thought they might be on commentary, but hope something. But did close the show. Roman Reigns and Jalen Brunson came out there and they talked about the fact that the Knicks are champions. He gave Jalen Brunson a new World Championship belt, a blue title. It's the same as Roman Reigns, but it has blue on at the background, while he had the black. Now we did get Tyrese Halliburton from the Indiana Pacers. He accompanied Seth Rollins. He actually came out to a theme song, had a chair, and gave it to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins came out and brawled with Roman Reigns. He was going to hit the curb stomp until Brunson got in the way. Reigns came out, Superman punched him, speared him, and they stood tall with the title and the NBA championship trophy. They could have done it something wild, but they did not sign up for an event just to hype up the show or something. Obviously, building up to Reigns and Rollins at match. And that would close the show, by the way. A champion welcome.
style that's more akin to him being babyface. So it was
So that's
interesting
it.
to have these guys go at it. I thought
it was a great shot with Jalen Brunson and Roman Reigns. I mean, Cody, Punk, Sammy, and Gunther. Yeah.
just fine. It was just a decent little matchup. Nice to kind of get the crowd energy, see how much they were into Trick Williams. Trick Williams getting an MSG pop. I'm always happy to hear, always happy to see. So I thought it was short to the point. Trick using the
Right, we'll talk about
Triple H in the hot seat? Well, if you look at the SummerSlam ticket sales this year for both Night 1 and Night 2, it ain't looking good for the Chief Content Officer. We're going to talk about that and all of the internal feeling right now heading into SummerSlam right here on Off the Script. Age of his career? Can't be all on John Cena. It's got to be something.
what the. Hey, what the hell? Why is this so damn slow? What the hell? Why is this so damn slow?
For a legal hand.
I don't like that.
For Night 2. This was reported on Thursday. Now, this is...
Ah, come on now. Very sorry about the technical difficulty. It is must be the damn connection or the network.
Is Triple H in the hot seat? To year 2 in Wembley as compared to year 1. That is because they ran back-to-back venues. Back-to-back years. It's tough to create interest.
Alright, it's getting on my nerves now.
Is Triple H boils down to the creative being garbage. That boy... CM Punk won the WWE Championship on Monday Night Raw in the main event in Chicago against Sami Zayn. A great match between two great professional wrestlers. But if you go on social media and you dwell within the IWC, there are a lot of weirdos that are making this title victory much more than it really is, comparing CM Punk to Hulk Hogan and comparing CM Punk to The Rock, calling him a hypocrite. We're going to talk about this and how stupid people are right here. The decision that Adam Pearce cannot. Rock was given a title shot without earning it on screen. He showed up on Raw 1000 in 2012 and was immediately announced as the #1 contender for the Royal Rumble and was handed a championship match against CM Punk, who had a title reign of 434 days. He defended it against everybody that the company threw at him. CM Punk went through a storyline, inserted himself into the title picture through his involvement in the title scene on Monday night, won a match to become the #1 contender before cashing in his opportunity. WWE then booked Rock and CM Punk that year on the road to WrestleMania. Rock beat CM Punk. Not one single match did The Rock have to earn that opportunity. He walks right in. He gets a championship match because he's Dwayne Johnson. Vince McMahon, an old, feeble man who is absolutely clueless, who had his favorites, deemed CM Punk not worthy of main eventing WrestleMania that year against John Cena. The reason why the decision was made to put the title on The Rock was because Vince McMahon didn't think CM Punk was good enough to main event WrestleMania. Boy, was he fucking wrong.
Yeah.
So we got Rock and Cena. The Rock's entire build and The Rock's return was maximizing his Hollywood star power back in WWE. It had nothing to do with the wrestling story at all. Not like the story that CM Punk finds himself in. Not like the story that he predicted in April, where a championship opportunity will fall out of the sky.
On the under $3 menu,
What the hell?
a McChicken is $2. Because when you're craving a McChicken, you deserve a McChicken.
I'm very sorry, there's a damn commercial on the way.
It's just $2. Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary.
Come on now.
Feel like your tooth sensitivity isn't severe enough to deal with? What if I told you Sensodyne has a fast and simple remedy? New Sensodyne Clinical Repair starts to repair
These
sensitive
stupid
areas
damn
of
commercials, man. And why is it going so slow?
New product to patients. New Sensodyne Clinical Repair is absolutely amazing.
The title change served as the WrestleMania 29 main event for Rock Cena 2, which was a rematch that existed primarily for Vince McMahon's business reasons. If this had anything to do with respect and who's earned it, CM Punk would have been in the main event of WrestleMania. CM Punk winning the title from Sami Zayn in Chicago is a wrestling story with a clear narrative direction heading into SummerSlam that will result in hopefully better television for everybody involved, including SmackDown as a brand. And it takes the belt off Cody, which things, honestly, were getting boring. They were well past its expiration date, and nobody wanted to see Cody as the WWE champion going into SummerSlam. CM Punk was a full-time member of the WWE roster for 3 years before his hiatus for 2 months. People acting instantly the best. Oops. We're all a little disappointed. Count that, by the way. I think that's bullshit. But I'm going to give it to you. More than likely going to cheer for. It is not the same. If anybody is Hulk Hogan, it's Cody Rhodes. Because all I know is Triple H used CM Punk in this spot to give the WWE title to Punk and not Cody on the road to SummerSlam, because that was going to be widely accepted, where Cody would be critically shit on. So he spared himself all the negativity brought to the entire story.
This corkscrew off of the bottom buckle, and then just does it again, and the PK.
Yeah. Alright, let's see what else I can watch. I can't get into those yet. There's the other news and rumors I want to show. Sheamus wants to WWE.
I never thought we'd see a day when Sheamus was no longer with the WWE. Sheamus is the latest name to leave the company after they asked him to restructure his contract for less money. 48 years old, a 19-year legend, a first ballot Hall of Famer when the time comes. Sheamus walks away from the WWE. What is next for Sheamus? We're going to take a look back at his 19-year career. We're going to talk about where he's going to end up next and why there is a problem right now in WWE when it comes to people, when it comes to performers like Sheamus, that no one is really talking about. All this today and more on Off Script. Sheamus. WWE didn't drop the ball on Sheamus creatively. They don't value a pro wrestler. They don't value a legend like Sheamus anymore. There's a very troublesome aspect to how TKO operates. You should know what you're getting in bed with when you watch the WWE product. Triple H, Nick Khan, and this administration, Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro leading TKO, Endeavor, WWE. There's a much larger problem at play here. The lying and the gaslighting and the bullshit and the hypocrisy and the lying. They don't value someone like Sheamus anymore. He's 48 years old. They don't value Sheamus or people like the New Day or Shayna Baszler or whoever was over that 40 age gap. They don't care. They don't value you. Sheamus is done with WWE. He's walking away from WWE after they lowballed him on a restructured contract extension. He's still with WWE, still under contract as of this moment. The original report claimed that Sheamus signed a new deal in 2023, which he had previously said was a 5-year contract. However, it was claimed to Fightful that somehow the deal is up soon. So if he signed a 3-year contract, if he signed a 5-year contract back in 2023, that means his contract would not be up until 2028. He signed a 3-year contract if his contract is now up in 2026. We're still close. Claudio is expected to push for Sheamus to be brought into AEW. However, it was noted by one AEW source that CMLL and outside of AEW are options for them to continue to work together. Outside where? New Japan, CMLL, Ring of Honor. Imagine Sheamus working in a fucking warehouse in front of 5 people on Ring of Honor's app. Get the fuck out of here, man. Never gonna happen. He's expected to have heavy interest from the indies, both domestically and abroad, as well as on the signing and convention scene. He's based out of Nashville now. It's not secret that he is neighbors with Rusev in Nashville. One WWE source we spoke to claimed that Sheamus was offered less money to stay in WWE, and they considered that an insult after the work that he put in over 19 years. Regarding Sheamus' name, his real name is Stephen Farrelly. However, he did use the Sheamus O'Shaughnessy name outside of WWE for years. MJF even promoted the fact that Sheamus could end up in AEW. He mentioned something along the names of O'Shaughnessy, come and get it, in AEW if you want. Banger after banger, I'm sure they would have. He used this name outside of WWE for years prior, so it's not unreasonable to think he could use it full-time now. Fightful says they're working already can't get TV time, and we're going to hire another 48-year-old. Everyone's got ideas like everybody and just give them great pay, and this is where the best wrestle.
Baby, did you have an accident today? Nothing. It's scarier than the daycare bag.
We used to have to throw out our clothes, and then we found Downy Rinse.
Downy Rinse helps remove stubborn odors in just one wash.
Downy.
America, this tournament might be fought on the pitch, but it'll be won.
Saw Sheamus on one of the fastest rises in WWE history. It was June 30th, 2009, which was an episode of the ECW WWE brand. Sheamus made an unannounced debut as a heel under the shortened ring name of Sheamus, quickly defeating a local jobber. Within weeks, he was on Raw. Within months, he was the WWE champion. He established himself on Raw. He won a breakthrough battle royal, became the #1 contender for John Cena's WWE title that year, and defeated John Cena at TLC in 2009, just 166 days after his main roster debut. They needed fresh, new talent. They needed someone to go up against John Cena that gave off that legitimacy. Sheamus was that guy. Historic victory made him the first Irish-born WWE champion, 166 days since his debut. One of the fastest rises, one of the fastest title wins in WWE history at the time. At the time, people were stunned. Nobody knew who he was. He came legitimately out of nowhere, beat John Cena at legitimately a point in John Cena's WWE run where he was shoved down our throat pretty badly, and he became the first Irishman to ever hold a WWE championship. He owns that. 2010, he became a 2-time champion. He held the title into 2010 before losing it at the Elimination Chamber to Triple H, won it back again at Fatal 4-Way in June, winning the WWE Championship following interference from the Nexus that allowed him to pin John Cena, a two-time champion, in less than a year, 8 months. He went on to defeat Cena a third time in a steel cage match to retain the championship and against Randy Orton at SummerSlam, which ended in disqualification. At Night of Champions, Sheamus lost the WWE Championship to Randy Orton in a six-pack challenge. On November 29th, he had wins over Kofi Kingston and John Morrison, and he became King of the Ring. So, in 2009 into 2010, he was a two-time WWE Champion and a King of the Ring winner. I mean, the guy was already off to the races there. He won the Rumble in 2012. He won the World Heavyweight Championship. The whole match with Bryan at WrestleMania, that was certainly a moment. 18-second squash that left the entire arena in fucking shock and awe. It was a terrible decision, and was really a point where you can point at it being the birth of the Yes Movement. 2015, he won Money in the Bank, and he won a third World Championship. At this point, this makes him only the second wrestler in history after Edge to have won the Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, and Money in the Bank. That is something very few people in the history of WWE can really stamp their name to. In 2016, The Bar became one of the best tag teams, if not the best tag team in the entire fucking industry, after a feud with Cesaro that resulted in a best-of-7 series, ending in a draw. Mick Foley, the then GM, made the only logical call. He put them together as a tag team. They went on to win their first tag team titles at Roadblock, End of the Line, in December. The Bar became one of the best tag teams of the modern era. 5 tag team title reigns together, legitimately one of the most underrated partnerships in the history of WWE Tag Team Wrestling. Cesaro and Sheamus had chemistry that very few teams ever develop organically, and they delivered night after night for years, which Sheamus was still doing up until the day we saw him last, which was John Cena's last Raw match in December. Or it might have been November, late November, early December. Last time we saw him on WWE television. Before that, I dare you to find a more consistent performer than Sheamus. Banger after banger after banger is not something that sounds cool as far as a motto for a wrestler or looks good in a tweet when you copy and paste it over and over again. He stood for it and he delivered every single time. No doubt about it. Even at his age now, I would put him up against anybody in the business completely as being the most consistent performer in the entire wrestling industry. 2022, the Brawling Brutes. He had a great Clash of the Castle moment. The Brawling Brutes era with Pete Dunne and Rich Holland. I thought the group was great. I looked at that as like a rekindling of the Sheamus character, really. Sheamus was brought back to life. He had a legitimate main event feel with him because of this whole gimmick he was running with the Brawling Brutes. His feud with Gunther for the IC title in 2022 produced some of the most celebrated matches of the entire year. Some of the most celebrated matches in the history of the IC title. Their Clash at the Castle in Cardiff match was one of the best matches in IC title history. Sheamus had come so close to being a Grand Slam champion, but Gunther retained. The match was brutal. It would be match of the year for many people that year. And it was the one title that he still had not won in WWE. Then the injuries. And we go from 2022, he didn't really do much of anything on TV. The body, obviously, eventually, if you wrestle that consistently like Sheamus, and as you get older, you know, the body eventually catches up to everybody with the way you wrestle like Sheamus. 19 years, multiple neck injuries, shoulder issues, physical style that nobody really, you know, could work even today. There are guys that are retired fucking 5-6 years out, 10 years out. Sheamus was still wrestling a more brutal style than most of those guys. And he was doing it on a consistent basis, night in and night out. WWE offered him a low-ball deal. He rejected it. WWE clearly did not want to bring him back because of the injury issues. For cheap.
Stop debating between razor burn and burning through another razor. Start shaving with...
Sign them for cheap. New Day. And anybody else on that roster that's nearing the 20 years services put in. If I'm Mike Mizanin, I'm thinking to myself, my days in WWE are not like they used to be. Back in the day when Vince was there, someone like Sheamus, the New Day, Miz, they'd have a home for life. Not like it was back then. This is Ari Emanuel's TKO. This is back. Hire Sheamus. At some point along the way, your amount of service and your years of service to WWE.
Player doesn't really do anything for me, but I get it. I mean, this is fine. I'd say it's acceptable. It's passable.
And you would not have worked Nick's. A card that was as weak as any MSG card probably that we have seen in years. I mean, you look at what was on this card on paper coming into... I mean, thankfully, we at least had the big tag team main event. But for weeks, we had one, we had two, we had three matches, and I was like, looking at this card, I'm like, this is a Madison Square Garden. This is pathetic. This is really bad. And then we had the tag team match that was added that at least... And last night on SmackDown, we had actual stakes put on the line in that tag team match. So that was good at least, but I can't say the same for the rest of this card. It was a bloody night. I feel like we had more blood, incidental blood on this show than we have in a very long time in WWE. Fallon Henley, Lyra Valkyria, CM Punk. Punk had the least of it, but it was either from the nose or the mouth. So we had some blood on this show. I told you guys last night, we gathered here to talk about SmackDown, and I ran down the final card, and I said, this is a one-match show. This Saturday night's main event is going to hinge on how good the main event is. It's a one-match show. It all comes down to Cody Rhodes and CM Punk against Gunther and Sami Zayn, which had the potential to be a really fun match, and that one match delivered. I actually thought the main event was a lot of fun, except it ended up not being the main event. I keep calling it the main event, but as it turns out, it was not the main event on this show here tonight, which is pretty crazy because they gave the main event to Roman Reigns. In case you were wondering who the man in WWE is, in case you were wondering who's probably getting that Night 2 SummerSlam main event, look no further. Roman Reigns, the World Heavyweight Champion, was promoted for a segment with the captain of the New York Knicks. Your reigning 2026 NBA champion New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson. We were never told what they were going to be doing. All we were told is that Roman Reigns and Jalen Brunson were going to be together. They were going to be doing something on Saturday night's main event. They weren't going to be wrestling. They were going to be doing something. And they saved that for the closing segment of the show. And Jalen Brunson comes out. He gets a full entrance. And Roman Reigns joins him, and they make their way down to the ring. Boy, let me tell you something. If you love this aura farming era of WWE that we are in, they gave you exactly what you wanted in that closing segment, because you knew. As soon as Brunson started slowly walking through the backstage area, you knew the level of aura farming that we were going to get in the closing minutes of this show was just off the page. It was off the charts. And so that's exactly what we got. But to the people who I know are going to be very upset about what that segment was, why was it on this show, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. It was very out of place on this show, but you got to keep in mind something very, very important. And it's not just the TKO effect. Obviously, the TKO effect is very real. They love their celebrity involvement. They want their ESPN moments. That's what they got in that closing segment tonight. And they're going to replay this footage. It's going to be all over social media. And this is, I mean, they live for this shit, right? WWE, they love their celebrities. They're all, you know, I mean, they've been star fuckers for years. This is not news. But honestly, did you expect that the New York Knicks were going to win their first championship in 53 years, and WWE was going to then come to Madison Square Garden not long after, knowing that there are team members on the Knicks squad, including the MVP himself, the captain of the team, who are WWE fans. We have literally had Jalen Brunson appear on WWE television before as part of an angle with a man who is not on the Knicks, but who was actually there tonight again. Knowing that they have fans on the Knicks squad, knowing that they're coming to MSG, knowing that Danhausen and the Danhausen curse became such a big part of Knicks lore in the postseason this year, did you honestly expect anything other than what we got on this show tonight? Did you expect that WWE was not going to go all in to try to exploit that and try to do something like this so they can mooch off the Knicks who just won this championship? This is such a big deal here in New York City. This is exactly what they were going to do. And they were, or certainly, if there were players who wanted to participate in the show, they were going to say no. They were going to be like, fuck yeah, let's see how we can work these guys into the show. And Jalen Brunson was not the only Knick who made an appearance on this show and had a role on this show. I'm not shocked by any of this. I think the fans in the building clearly enjoyed it. They love Jalen Brunson. They love the Knicks. If you are in New York City, if you're a New York City person, you know how special that championship was here to the people of this city. And, you know, even those who maybe aren't diehard NBA fans, right? It was a big deal here in New York. So for the fans who were in the Garden, they seemed to love it. For the fans who were watching at home, who are not from New York, who may not even be from this country, who may not even like basketball, then you probably didn't give a shit about the closing 20 minutes or so of this show. You could have turned the show off after the actual main event. And you would not have missed anything. You missed literally nothing if you did not see the closing segment. In fact, what was so weird about the closing segment was it set up a Seth Rollins run-in. And Seth Rollins was booked as the heel in this scenario. He came out. Everyone is showering Roman Reigns and Jalen Brunson with love. They're chanting Jalen's name. They're chanting OTC. Roman Reigns is gifting Jalen Brunson a replica World Heavyweight Championship belt, which I actually have to say looked fucking amazing. The belt did. That World Heavyweight Championship on a blue strap with like the orange trim. Oh my God. So, yeah, but it's basically one big circle jerk in the middle of the ring, and then out comes Tyrese Halliburton, a villain here in New York. And Seth Rollins with the ambush on Roman Reigns in the ring like the villain in this scenario. And he goes to stomp Roman, and Jalen Brunson stands in the way, and he's not going to let him do it. And Rollins eats a Superman punch, and he gets bounced out of the ring. I'm watching this. I'm looking at Brunson and Reigns in the ring, and I'm looking at Rollins and Tyrese Halliburton. And they're retreating up the aisle. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, you know, in the month of July, many years ago, in fact, almost 30 years ago, and then 28 years ago as well, there were a couple of really big tag team matches, celebrity tag team matches that were hosted in WCW involving NBA players. If this were a different era, you would almost watch that closing segment and think that they were setting up for a big tag match in the main event of SummerSlam. Except they're not. They're not. They're definitely not with Jalen Brunson. If you saw the cast on his wrist, he didn't do anything physical. Neither did Halliburton. He's coming off a pretty serious injury too. But yeah, we were definitely getting some Rodman and Malone vibes from what was going on there at the end of the show. Look, I saw it for what it was. Where WWE can tap into pop culture, where WWE can tap into sports, right? The Knicks. All the rage, where they can tap into that and use that in their mind to help promote their own product and their own stars. They are going to do that. And so this is what you end up with. You end up with a segment on the show that felt very out of place. It felt like if they were going to have a big Madison Square Garden Super Show, perfect segment for that. But I don't know that most people watching really gave a flying fuck about what they saw in that closing segment. The real main event on this show came before that. It was Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Can they coexist? Tag team partners against Gunther and Sami Zayn. And we had a big stipulation added to the match last night on SmackDown, where if the heels won, they would be added to the championship match at SummerSlam to make it a fatal four-way. which got a lot of people talking and thinking, well, maybe we're going to get a four-way, right? That answers the question about what's Sami Zayn going to be doing at SummerSlam, except that it flies in the face of the obvious match for Gunther, which was against Nick Aldis, who we saw tonight. In fact, Nick Aldis played a direct role in Gunther and Sami Zayn losing the match. So as of this moment, the championship match at SummerSlam remains one-on-one for the moment.
That you're not getting
for the moment.
With the parasite.
It remains one-on-one between Cody Rhodes
if you have
and
people
CM Punk.
things like that and
It makes you wonder now,
then you have a serious
we know what Gunther's path is going to be. Right now there can be no doubt. We're going to see Nick Aldis don the tights once again. He'll be wrestling Gunther.
He's a parasite.
But what does Sami Zayn do at SummerSlam? You watch this, Sami, through no fault of his own, once again got fucked over tonight. Sami Zayn got screwed. Sami Zayn is going to blow a gasket over the general manager of his show. This is his boss, who interfered in the match and directly cost him an opportunity to challenge for the WWE Championship. He didn't do anything wrong. It would only be fair for Sami to be compensated in some way. Nor, by the way, did he take the losing fall in this match. Are they going to add Sami Zayn and make it a triple threat match at SummerSlam? At the very least, there should be a promise made, a guarantee that, okay, the match for SummerSlam, we ain't changing it, but you get first crack at whoever walks out of Minneapolis with the WWE title. Maybe even that first SmackDown coming out of SummerSlam. You earned a championship rematch. You have yet to receive one. You got fucked over at Madison Square Garden. You get first dibs on that title coming out of SummerSlam. There has to be some sort of guarantee that is made to Sami, especially if he's not going to be added to the match at SummerSlam, because I don't know what else he's doing on that show. Probably nothing. So we'll see how that shakes out, because it's very unfair. If you really think about it, I mean, come on now. I understand, Nick Aldis, has animus towards Gunther for beating him up a couple of weeks ago, but Sami Zayn kind of got caught in the crossfire here. So we'll see how that story plays out. And again, they played, some tension between Cody and Punk. There were some miscommunications during the main event. Otherwise, they got along fine. I will say when the match was over, I was watching Cody. Not even Punk. I had my eyes on Cody Rhodes. The way that he was acting, I thought for a moment there he was going to smack Punk right in the face. It felt to me like we might actually get a Cody Rhodes heel turn on this show. And he didn't, he kind of raised Punk's hand and everything was all hunky-dory between them. And I love how he gives Punk the belt because he's staring at the championship. And he hands Punk the belt, and Punk goes to sling it over his shoulder, and the strap smacks Cody right in the eye. And Cody's just standing there like, he's going like this. He goes, what the fuck, dude? So again, little moments like that are going to lead to tensions boiling over. Probably next Friday. I'm still waiting on that big promo segment between Cody and Punk. I really enjoyed that match. It was nonstop. It never let up. It was not sluggish at all. Really, from the opening bell, they went at it. They picked up where they left off at the end of SmackDown on Friday. And as I said, it was a one-match show. I thought that one match delivered. We also have new women's tag team champions. Not a shock at all, if you really pay attention to what's been going on. And it was absolutely the right move to make. So we have new women's tag team champions. We had Bayley and Lyra had a singles match. We'll get into what happened there. I already see a lot of people, is this it for Bayley? This was Bayley's swan song. She's done with WWE. Pump the brakes. Cool your jets. Don't jump the gun. We'll talk about what happened in that match a little bit later on. We also got some news tonight, because during the show, WWE made an announcement pertaining to WrestleMania 43 next year. And no, they are not moving it out of Riyadh. I feel like there could be an atomic bomb blast, and they still wouldn't move WrestleMania out of Riyadh because there's just too much money to lose out on. But they did announce that on both nights of WrestleMania next year, in New York City, there's a venue there, the theater at Madison Square Garden. NXT has had some shows there before. I think, oh God, what's the name of it now? The name has changed so many times over the years. It used to actually be the theater at Madison Square Garden. Was it the Infosys Theater? These fucking stupid names now. But they're actually hosting 2 shows. One after WrestleMania Night 1 and one after WrestleMania Night 2. Because remember, because it's in Saudi, it'll be airing probably 1 o'clock Eastern time here. So when WrestleMania ends, live locally in New York City, they're going to have a AAA show after WrestleMania. Well, actually, they didn't say which night. My guess would be the AAA show will take place after WrestleMania Night 1, and there will be an NXT show. Very likely taking place after WrestleMania Night 2. Again, that would be my guess. The AAA show, they're calling it AAA Eternal Glory. The NXT show is going to be standard $33. Which is great news for the fans. So those of you, I mean, genuinely, who have been waiting, or maybe you're local, but can we make it happen? 500. And I also think that they should be doing more pre-show matches. I'm not saying they have to fill them up, even if it's just one match. You know, it's okay to have a pre-show match. You won't die. Unless you do dives like Laredo Kid did, where he almost died. The main card. What a card it was. Everything in Paul Levesque, I mean, he was probably twitching. He was twitching when somebody suggested to him, maybe we should have a 5th match on this show. And he said, I'll compromise with you. We'll put it on the pre-show, which is something WWE has not done for a very long time. When was the last time they had pre-show matches? I can't remember the last time they had pre-show matches. But we got one tonight. It was added very late, non-title, with the United States champion, Trick Williams, going one-on-one with Laredo Kid. Very, very random. But okay, hey, the more the merrier, because we don't get enough matches on these shows. Late in the match, this aired, by the way, on the pre-show, as I mentioned, so either there was only one possible outcome here. Now, Brie Bella posted a video the other day on her social media of a training session with her husband, Bryan Danielson, who was teaching her some new moves. So I was watching.
We're the world's most advanced program, built.
K-Monster Texans. Zayn, the WWE Championship. That was fresh. That was new. I appreciate them for that. Was hoping they would run with it up until SummerSlam. Then they gave it to CM Punk. And I was thinking, okay, well, if they do CM Punk and Sami Zayn, that's fresh. No, they went to Sami. I guess playing the third wheel. I still don't know what he's going to do. We're going to talk about that in a second. But Sami just got put on the sideline, you know, looking in. And they went with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, which, yes, that is a main event worthy for SummerSlam. Honestly, that's a main event worthy for WrestleMania. But and if you're a New York Knicks fan, you love... Gentlemen, you got your message on Patreon. Enjoy what you want. Anything that's thought-provoking. They don't want anything that's different. This WWE product, this venture into mainstream media with ESPN and all these celebrity appearances, man, you know, it really does nothing for me. And I think most of you guys feel the same way, too. Honestly, I think it's something that you guys also are feeling on your end. You just don't care about it. You don't care about it. It doesn't make the show better. It's just largely a waste of time. WWE, they are so in desperate need to create new stars, which right now they don't have. Or in their circles, I would say they don't have people where they want them to be right now that are going to be the next Roman Reigns or the next CM Punk or the next Cody Rhodes. It may take a few years for us to get there with the likes of a Trick Williams and a Carmelo Hayes and a Braun Breaker and an Obafemi. So what WWE has to rely on is the nauseating aspect of pushing their product into other genres. They've taken over Fanatics Fest. Fanatics Fest is like this big conglomeration of fans and sports athletes and celebrities and all this nonsense. WWE has had a major stake in Fanatics Fest the last couple of years. Good for them. It's like half WWE, half everything else. Then you get a show like tonight. And you go into Madison Square Garden, and we thought, all right, Danhausen is in the mainstream media because he cursed the Spurs, or he uncursed the Knicks, whatever the case may be. Uncursed the Knicks. And they won the NBA championship. They lost one game in the playoffs. And we thought it was going to be innocent with Danhausen and the Knicks, and everything was going to be like, all right, let's get this out of the way. And Danhausen had a New York Knicks player come on out, and Jalen Brunson was in the main event segment with Roman Reigns, and we had celebrities throughout the night, all around ringside. Every commercial break we came back, there were 4 more celebrities that WWE introduced us to. And then we got a main event with CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, and Sami Zayn. And we got a decent match with Lyra and Bayley. If you missed this show, you didn't really miss anything. But WWE, the only way that they can garner any mainstream attention is if they kind of throw themselves desperately on the floor and desperately seek attention. If you're a New York Knicks fan, you loved everything that they did tonight. It was so Knicks forward and so Knicks centric. That's fine. I have absolutely nothing against that. It's more so the WWE. If let's say the Philadelphia Phillies won the World Series, and WWE is holding Saturday night's main event in Philadelphia, they would have trotted out Bryce Harper and Don Mattingly out to the fucking ring. They would have given Bryce Harper and Don Mattingly a Philadelphia Phillies championship-inspired World Heavyweight Championship. And they would have celebrated with the Philadelphia Phillies because they wanted that lasting image on SportsCenter. They wanted a SportsCenter moment with Roman Reigns and Bryce Harper and Don Mattingly. If the Braves won the World Series and Saturday night's main event was in Atlanta, Ronald Acuna would be out there. Walt Weiss would be out there. Matt Olson would be out there. They would have trotted out a WWE World Heavyweight Championship inspired with Atlanta Braves colors for the city of Atlanta. SportsCenter moment. Everybody holds their championships up in the air. Look at us, guys. We're on SportsCenter. It doesn't matter who won the championship. It doesn't matter what city they're in. It doesn't matter what arena they're in. WWE would have done this no matter what. If the New York Knicks didn't win the NBA Finals, you wouldn't have seen anything in regards to Jalen Brunson or the New York Knicks inside Madison Square Garden because that doesn't really appease WWE. They gotta ride the coattails of legitimately everything and everybody that's more popular than they are to fit into other subsections and other subgenres so that they can get their 15 minutes of fame because they can't produce what they need to produce on their end, and they're struggling getting any sort of interest and any sort of momentum for what they are doing. So they gotta butt into everybody else. But if you're a New York Knicks fan and at the same time you're a WWE fan, you probably enjoyed what they did tonight. God bless you. It's not for me. I'm not saying that it sucked one way or another. I'm not married to this concept. I'm not married to what happened tonight. I don't care either way. I'm completely down the middle. I'm completely indifferent. If you're a New York Knicks fan, so be it. You enjoyed yourself. If you have little kids and all that stuff, God bless you. I mean that wholeheartedly. You enjoyed it. It's a great celebration. And Jalen Brunson's a hero in New York City. I can understand 53 years waiting for a championship. You know, so that means something to you. That moment means something to you. It's just the concept of WWE doing it, I just look at it as if they don't really mean it. They don't. So if you enjoyed that, That's on you, man. If you're a Knicks fan and at the same time you're a WWE fan, you enjoy that. I'm not here to talk about what happened in the main event. It leads to nothing. It leads to nothing. Roman Reigns and Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton and Seth Rollins out there. I mean, it's all garbage. It's legitimately all trash. Whatever happened after the acknowledgement ceremony of Jalen Brunson, that last 3 minutes or so was a complete waste of time. They should have ended the show when Roman Reigns said, "Acknowledge us." They should have went off the air. I don't know what that was at the end of the show. I don't know why Seth Rollins needed to be out there. I don't know what that does to sell Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins in a big, meaningful way. It did nothing. It was largely a waste of time. Outside all of the cinema and outside all of the celebrity fucking slobbing of the cock, we had a main event tonight of CM Punk and Cody Rhodes teaming up against Gunther and Sami Zayn. I said on my Friday Night SmackDown stream, WWE may have given Sami Zayn a direct path into SummerSlam. They may have given him a direct path into the main event of SummerSlam, possibly adding Sami Zayn to a Cody Rhodes and CM Punk match for the WWE Championship that was basically born because WWE was so desperate on selling tickets to SummerSlam in Minneapolis. When the ticket graph came out on Thursday, WrestleTix put up that WWE only moved less than 700 tickets since the announcement of Cody Rhodes and CM Punk for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam in the main event. That announcement was made last Friday. WrestleTix put up their updated graphing for the SummerSlam seating chart on Thursday. So legitimately, a full 7 days, and WWE only moved less than 700 tickets for night 2 of SummerSlam. So Cody Rhodes and CM Punk didn't move any tickets whatsoever. Or at least not in the way WWE expected them to move thousands of tickets. Because this is such a big match that everybody wants to see. A big match that so many people are interested in. There are a bunch of different variables. Ticket prices are still way too high. It's Minneapolis. Some people are using the destination and the arena as the biggest crutch of an excuse. Meanwhile, WWE has run cities similar to Minneapolis, and they didn't have any problem selling tickets a couple years ago. I don't really understand that. Didn't they run the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis a couple years ago? They didn't have problems selling that place out. SummerSlam is just as big. SummerSlam is just as important. It's one of their marquee shows. Plus, it's a 2-night show. They haven't even given the Royal Rumble a 2-night treatment yet. I'm not using the city and the venue as a crutch. I'm not using that as, oh my God, it's just Minneapolis. Nobody wants to travel to Minneapolis. Nobody wants to travel to Minneapolis, period. Why would you? What's in Minneapolis? The Juicy Lucy? I can make a nice Juicy Lucy at home. I don't need to fucking travel to Minneapolis to go have a fucking cheeseburger. Minneapolis doesn't really resonate with me as summer. It doesn't. Neither does Detroit or Cleveland or any of these other fucking places in the Midwest. The only reason why Minneapolis is getting a SummerSlam is because they got fucking fucked because they were supposed to get a WrestleMania. So they gave them a 2-night SummerSlam. That's the reason why we're here. Ticket prices are too high. People are using the city and the venue as an excuse. How about the product just sucks? How about that? How about that? How about we just call it like it is, instead of fucking dancing around, pretending like there's nothing wrong? Or you shielding the company from real criticism? Or you in bed with the company because you want a fucking free handout and you want to get invited to watch parties and you want to fucking sit with the fake reactors and you want to sit with all these other fucking people that don't matter? How about the product sucks? Plain and simple, the product sucks. The creative sucks. This writing team is fucking terrible. SmackDown's been one of the worst television shows of the entire year. Monday Night Raw is getting there. And their PLEs are commercial-ridden slop. They don't even feel like PLEs. Premium. What are you paying for? You're paying for premium commercials. Do you genuinely expect SummerSlam to be any different than WrestleMania? 6 matches each night? 7 minutes of commercials in between matches that don't eclipse 8 minutes. Get ready. Yeah, you want me to sit here and keep my fucking mouth shut because WWE is the big bad wolf in town. They're where everybody wants to be. You want to work there. Nobody wants to work there. Not with these fucking people. SummerSlam is not selling tickets because the product fucking sucks. And the prices are too high. You mix those two things together, you put that in the blender, and you fucking have your breakfast smoothie in the morning. It ain't coming out good. It ain't coming out good at all. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes on any other night, in any other city, they might have had a chance to sell more than what they've got. But unfortunately, Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, who are not the problem, by the way, they are in the middle of this absolutely downturn in interest in a period of WWE where a lot of people are just not interested in what the product is delivering. Cody Rhodes himself is a problem as well. This is something that people don't want to call out or address or come to the realization of. Cody Rhodes is a problem. I don't know how anybody could watch Cody Rhodes and not turn away in cringe. He comes out, he smiles with his fake veneers, and he comes out and he's like he's running for fucking White House. He's running for president. Legitimately, everywhere he goes, he comes out smiling. I hated someone like Cody Rhodes growing up watching pro wrestling. Waving at everybody. Cody Rhodes is the type of guy that's gonna fucking hold grandma's hand crossing the street so that she gets across the street safely. Cody Rhodes is the type of guy that's gonna carry grandma's bags to the fucking trunk of her car so she doesn't spill her fucking fruit all over the parking lot concrete. That's great. And then he'll ask for your vote. Please vote Rhodes in the ballots on November 2nd. That's great. Cody Rhodes is a fucking problem. Cody Rhodes is a problem. When he turns that fake-ass fucking cringy smile into black hair and a fuck you attitude, then business will pick up. Then all those Laps fans will come back. Then there will be a real reason to watch the show. Cody Rhodes in this current state is more of a deterrent. He's more of a deterrent. He's like that candle that burns on the fucking table on 4th of July to keep the mosquitoes away. He's a deterrent. He ain't doing anything for the product in a meaningful way. Yet he's all over the place. He's in the main event. He's this, he's that. He's at Fanatics Fest. He's fucking face of this and face of that. He's on all the merchandise. Brother, after 4 years of it being fucking bombarded and thrown at you in every way, at some point, people grow tired. They do. So when you ask why is SummerSlam not selling, you can look at all three of those things. The product fucking sucks. No matter what people tell you, it sucks. Ticket prices are too high. And Cody Rhodes is a problem. His current character is a problem. CM Punk is fine. There's nothing wrong with CM Punk. CM Punk is the last fucking... And both, listen, Cody is great. Don't let my negativity on Cody think that I'm a Cody hater. Or let you think I'm a Cody hater. I love Cody. I just think Cody is absolutely and terribly miscast. Currently. They don't see it. They're gonna fucking wring that sponge as much as they can until it's fucking absolutely bone dry. And when they decide to turn him heel, in typical WWE fashion, it will be too late. CM Punk is still one of the last beacons of legitimacy that this company has left. I cannot even begin to tell you how lucky WWE is to have CM Punk. It's not the other way around. It might have been the other way around when he first got back. But now, it is completely the opposite. They are absolutely counting their fucking lucky stars. They should be on their knees thanking Phil Brooks for what he's done for this company. Without CM Punk, I fear. I legitimately fear where WWE would be. They owe him a lot. As far as I'm concerned, whatever the man wants, he should get. Same thing goes for Cody, but Cody's more boring. Cody has kind of run the gambit of, all right, man, enough is enough with the good guy act. All right, it's time to go. It's time to go heel. I don't want to hear anything about Cody not going, oh, they don't have anybody to replace him. Yes, they do. His name is Phil Brooks. His name is CM Punk. That's the guy to replace Cody Rhodes. Cut the shit. If you're waiting for somebody else who's half Cody's age to come and replace him, you'll be waiting a very, very long time. A very long time. That person might not even exist. This main event tag team match tonight was fantastic. Given who's in there, and given all four men's body of work, I'm not really surprised. Cody's great, Punk is great. Can they coexist? They did. Until the ending of the match. That flip of the belt when CM Punk put the WWE Championship over his shoulder and accidentally hit Cody Rhodes in the face with the strap as he flipped the belt over his shoulder. Oh, that was very intentionally done, Shad. That was very intentionally done. I'm sure that will come into play, hopefully, on Friday. The situation coming into this match was given to us by Adam Pearce. If Sami Zayn and Gunther, who also have to coexist, who also want to be where Cody and Punk are, they feel like they've been robbed, they feel like they've been screwed. If Sami Zayn and Gunther can coexist, even though they don't like each other, and if they can beat CM Punk and Cody Rhodes by any means, in this match tonight, they will get added to the SummerSlam main event, and a one-on-one match will become a fatal four-way. Sami Zayn and Gunther didn't win. I'm not surprised at that. I did not expect them to win. I don't know why anybody expected Cody Rhodes or CM Punk to take a loss 2 weeks before SummerSlam. But we talked about this last night. And even though the idea of a fatal four-way is very interesting, it was never going to work out that way. WWE is throwing as many variables as they can at the wall to see which one sticks. They want people guessing. They want a very chaotic build for SummerSlam, and that's exactly what they feel they're giving us. Referee went down tonight. Gunther and Sami Zayn were in control. Gunther uses the WWE title with the referee down to use it as an illegal weapon. Nick Aldis, he shows up out of nowhere after a second referee comes in to make the count, which would have given Gunther and Sami the win over Cody and Punk. Nick Aldis shows up, pulls the referee out of the ring, and at that point, one thing leads to another. Gunther and Sami Zayn lose. Now, Nick Aldis has been going back and forth with Gunther for weeks now, starting at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, where they were cursing at each other, pull-apart brawl, pushing each other, shoving each other. This led into another situation on Friday. They were out on medical, well, Gunther was out because he was suspended. And Nick Aldis was out on administrative leave. He was only gone for a week. He shows up on Monday Night Raw. And he gets to Raw. Apparently he was not on administrative leave anymore. Or maybe he was still out. Don't know what he was doing there. But Adam Pearce forced Sami Zayn to defend the WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes on Monday Night Raw. Keep that in the back of your mind. Cody beat Jey Uso on Friday Night SmackDown. He earned the #1 contendership. He goes to Monday Night Raw. Sami Zayn was forced to defend a SmackDown title. The WWE Championship is a SmackDown title. He was forced to defend the WWE title on Raw. Why is Sami going to Raw? Why is Sami defending the title on Raw when he's a SmackDown guy and the WWE title is a SmackDown title? Why isn't this match taking place on Friday? So Sami has an argument there. Cody Rhodes got taken out by Gunther. He had a car door slammed in his face. The whole thread throughout the entire show is, who's Sami going to defend the title against? Is Cody going to be medically cleared? No, Cody wasn't medically cleared. Nick Aldis was scrambling to find an opponent for Sami Zayn. Sami wanted to defend the title, but was also happy at the same time that he wasn't defending the title against Cody Rhodes. So Nick Aldis, who magically appeared on Monday night in Chicago on July 6th, he shows up and says, I got somebody. I'm doing a job that you clearly cannot do for yourself. So I made a phone call, and the guy that is wrestling Sami Zayn is in the building tonight. It ended up being CM Punk. CM Punk and Sami Zayn had one of the best matches of the entire year on Monday Night Raw in the main event for the WWE Championship in Chicago, and CM Punk won the WWE title. Straight up, clean, no bullshit. Sami Zayn got screwed. His championship reign only lasted 9 days. He defended the WWE title, which is a SmackDown branded title, as a SmackDown star on a show when he didn't have to do any of that. The decision was made by the Raw GM. So that's strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. If Sami took this evidence to court, he'd be labeled innocent. You don't need any more evidence than what Sami Zayn has just based off when he lost the championship in Chicago to CM Punk. The next week he takes a mental health break. Gunther is going back at it with Nick Aldis. This is like the 3rd time they've went at it. Which leads us to tonight. Nick Aldis and Gunther's been brewing for a little bit now. I think everybody watching the show realized that Nick Aldis and Gunther was going to be a showcase match at SummerSlam. Nick Aldis would be wrestling his first match in WWE. So when I saw Nick Aldis ruin the match for Gunther and Sami Zayn, I wasn't surprised because we talked about it last night. Nick Aldis was going to show up because of what Gunther did to him literally a week ago. He incapacitated him with multiple sleeper holds and attacked the general manager of SmackDown again because he feels like he can. Nick Aldis showed up and took this all away from Gunther because at the end of the day, he is the law. He is the power. He is the general manager of Friday Night SmackDown. But at the same time, Nick Aldis wasn't thinking as a general manager. Nick Aldis was thinking as Nick Aldis, the pro wrestler. The failed pro wrestler that Gunther continues to call a failed pro wrestler. So without thinking what the ramifications and what the consequences would be for Sami Zayn, he did the one thing that he felt he should do, and that was screw Gunther, but at the same time he screwed Sami Zayn. Now my question to you is, after all this evidence has been brought to the jury, does Sami Zayn not deserve a WWE Championship title opportunity in the main event of SummerSlam? This is why I said verbatim. WWE may have paved the road for Sami to get onto the SummerSlam card and into the main event with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. The only downfall is they legitimately ran this same main event at the last PLE at Night of Champions. The only difference is it doesn't include Gunther. But that's WWE's fault. They decided to take the belt off Sami to put it on CM Punk instead of having Cody beat Sami Zayn. They put it on CM Punk, and then they announced Cody Rhodes and CM Punk for SummerSlam in hopes to sell tickets, in which they sold no tickets. Well, they sold tickets, but they didn't sell tickets that would make Ari Emanuel fucking smile from ear to ear. If WWE had 50,000 tickets out the door for both Night 1 and Night 2, and there were near 100,000 tickets out the door completely for SummerSlam up until this point with 2 weeks to go, there's a pretty likely situation of Sami Zayn walking into SummerSlam as the WWE Champion? Why would you take the belt off him if you've already filled US Bank Stadium for SummerSlam? They made a rash decision. They made a hasty decision because of their inability to sell tickets. They made a rash decision, screwed Sami Zayn, fucked Sami Zayn over because they felt like Cody Rhodes and CM Punk was going to get them to where they needed to be as far as filling US Bank Stadium. And it all blew up in their face. So at the end of the day, you're left with haphazard, chaotic creative, and you've taken the belt off someone in Sami Zayn after 9 days when you didn't really have to do that because it would have made a fucking difference. So when people ask me, how does Sami Zayn get into the main event, Shady? I put this on Twitter. How does he get in? Please explain it to me. I fucking explained it to you, you fucking half fucking idiotic cretin. I don't need to explain it anymore. Watch the fucking show. Now, do I expect Sami Zayn to be in the main event? No. That's a different story. I expect this company to leave him off the card completely. For all we know, he'd be in a match with fucking Johnny Gargano. Johnny, he wakes up miraculously and he's in a match with fucking Sami Zayn in Minneapolis. But you want me to detail how Sami gets there? That's how he gets there. That's how he gets there. Storyline-wise, it makes 1,000% logic. Nick Aldis wasn't thinking about Sami. He has no problem with Sami. He's got a problem with Gunther. He attacked Gunther. At the same time, consequences now have fallen on Sami Zayn because of Nick Aldis' actions. Sami needs some justice here.
Norman?
How many times can Sami get screwed in the month of July? I've given you 5 different instances in which Sami Zayn has been fucking fucked over. If you don't think he belongs in the SummerSlam main event storyline-wise, I don't know why you're watching me, because I love attention to detail and I love pinpointing things that happen on the show and making sense of it or telling you that it doesn't make sense.
Looks awful. How did you... Okay, you know what? I'll just forget.
If CM Punk and Cody Rhodes was specifically put together in the main event of SummerSlam to sell tickets, and they haven't sold tickets, what's the big deal about putting Sami Zayn in the main event of SummerSlam? Cody and CM Punk aren't selling tickets, so let's get Sami Zayn in there because A, he deserves it, B, the story calls for it, and C, what you did tonight absolutely should lead to Sami getting there because he did nothing wrong.
Why?
That's the way that I see it playing out. They didn't sell any additional tickets that are going to make TKO happy, so why not? Unless they don't want Sami on the SummerSlam card, which I find difficult to believe that you got a 2-night fucking SummerSlam and you can't find a fucking spot for Sami Zayn across 2 nights of SummerSlam. I just find that to be fucking ridiculous. If this was a 1-night SummerSlam, I'd be a little bit more like, all right, maybe there's no room for him. But you got a 2-night SummerSlam and you're going to leave Sami Zayn off the fucking card when he's been the most vital player on Friday night in 2026? Bro, I find that very hard to believe. Come on, man.
The little girlfriend. I heard that the little girlfriend.
If Sami is not
in
that match, making it a triple threat, I will not be surprised.
I mean, this whole thing can be called.
But he should. He absolutely should.
Oh, Delson, please, look at her. This is more like that.
You know, if I'm Triple H, I'm looking at Cody and CM Punk, and sure, it's a big match. It's a dream match to some. It's the biggest match they have on tap. I know they've wanted to do it. It was supposed to be the main event of WrestleMania this past year in Vegas. Then we heard about it happening next year at WrestleMania. WWE moved it up. They fast-tracked it to SummerSlam. Now, on one hand, I like that because I'd rather see it now in the United States than instead of Saudi Arabia. We may actually still get it in Saudi Arabia for all we know. This may be a year-long thing between Punk and Cody. We don't know. I do think that we're just now starting to get a little bit of tension and story. But there should have been a little bit of attention and story going into their first match. It shouldn't have started off cold because they have no tickets sold and they need a big match to sell SummerSlam. That's not the right way to do anything.
Because
But
John had to erase my mind at one point.
if you don't include Sami Zayn in the main event, A, it's not going to make any sense whatsoever, and B, why are you wasting my time as a fan? Like, we see what WWE's done. Every move they made has backfired. SummerSlam is not where it needs to be. Why are we punishing people because WWE is incapable of writing interesting and captivating television? It's not Sami Zayn's fault. You did something to him in hopes of getting to where you need to be for SummerSlam. You didn't. So pay it forward to Sami and include him in the main event. That's just the way that I see things. And like I was going to say before, if I'm WWE, why do I want CM Punk and Cody Rhodes meeting for the first time on a failed endeavor named SummerSlam 2026? Don't you think that this match deserves a little bit more fanfare? Don't you think this match deserves a little bit more of a bigger stage? There's literally no hype going into this match. Zero. 2 weeks left to go. There's no hype and no interest at all. I'm not hearing people excited about. I may be interested, just based off what two guys like that can do.
Don't tell him.
But I don't hear people talking about this as if it's like the second coming of fucking the greatest match of all time.
Don't tell Harry.
There may be more people disinterested in this match than there are interested in this match. You gotta have fun, though. Bro, I ain't having fun. I ain't having fun. I don't have fun with this shit. You may have fun. You have kids that are having fun with it, so you're an adult watching your kids have fun. You're living vicariously through them and seeing things through their eyes. That's a completely different story. I'm not having fun. I do this for a living. If I was having fun, I would have already told you I'm having fun. You guys have seen me when I've had fun. Don't sit there and exclaim to me I'm not having fun. The OGs of what I do here, you've seen me when I've had fun and when I've enjoyed things. There's nothing to have fun with. I've prided myself on telling you exactly what it is you are watching. And if you don't appreciate my upfront, honest demeanor, then maybe you should go watch somebody else that's gonna blow smoke up your fucking asshole. I will never do that. I tell you exactly how I feel in what I'm doing and what I'm watching. That has pros and cons. There's negatives and positives that come along with it. Some people claim that I'm too negative. Some people claim that I'm too honest, and that's the reason why I don't have 500,000 subscribers. YouTube is a different beast in 26 than it was in fucking 2013. You can't do and say half of the shit that you did back then. Things change, algorithms change, audiences change. Everything changes. Product changes. This product is catered to people that are not us. But that doesn't mean I don't have every fucking right to come on here and tell you that this shit sucks. There's nothing that's going on nowadays. This is the problem. There's nothing that goes on nowadays that will live in the annals of WWE history. They're not making moments that are going to be lifelong moments. When I'm 80 years old, I don't think I'll ever go back to 2026 and relive a single fucking moment that happened in this year. Maybe Sami Zayn, maybe. Maybe Sami winning his first title. Was there something last year, chat, that you'd go back and watch that is going to live in the annals of fucking main event? Then you enjoyed Saturday night's main event. WWE is clearly catering to a bunch of different audiences. They catered to the New York Knicks fan base tonight. They catered to a New York fan base tonight that has been to Fanatics Fest all week. They catered to the kids. They catered to the pro wrestling enthusiasts. This was a mixed bag. This was basically, this version of Saturday night's main event was legitimately Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. That's exactly what it was. There's a little bit of everything. It was a variety show. They gave you a little bit of everything, and then they gave you what me and you absolutely want to see, and that's pro wrestling with that tag team match. They got their Sports Center moment. They got their mainstream moment. They'll be in the New York Post. The correspondence for tonight's show. I did watch the pre-show. There was a pre-show tonight with Trick Williams and Laredo Kid. I don't know why they didn't just book Trick Williams on the actual show and give him a match against somebody that means something, that can forward a storyline. I don't know. So they put him in a basic one-on-one match, just a showcase match with him and Laredo Kid. It didn't really mean much of anything. Trick Williams got the win there. Stephanie, before the actual Saturday night's main event show went on the air on Peacock, the pre-show was streamed for free on YouTube. So Stephanie's out there interviewing Obafemi. She says, this is pretty amazing. It's pretty powerful out here. People that don't listen to anything I have to say. Meanwhile, what I'm speaking is absolutely factual information. WWE should have stripped Rhea Ripley of the championship. So now we're going into a ladder match, which, by the way, is a ladder match for the women's championship, which is not really the women's championship. A ladder match, by the way, which we're about to get in October as well, because the women are going to have a Money in the Bank. You see where I'm going with this? The WWE has played favoritism. Triple H has played favorites with Rhea Ripley. If Jordan Grace was the women's champion, or if Chelsea Green was the women's champion, or Julia was the women's champion, or Kiana James was the women's champion, and they went out with a partially torn meniscus, and they were out for close to 2 months, and they got injured at Night of Champions, do you genuinely think that either of those women, any of those women, would still be the women's champion today? Do you think that we'd be getting an interim championship match at SummerSlam? Or do you think those women would have been stripped of the women's championship with the actual women's championship on the line in a SummerSlam contest? When WWE can prove to me that the same etiquette, when the same benefit would be bestowed to everybody else, just like it is to Rhea Ripley, then I won't sit here live in front of 2,600 people on a Saturday night and claim that Triple H and WWE has blatant favoritism towards certain talents. And I'm a fan of Rhea Ripley, and I'm just calling it as it is. I love Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea's fucking great. How many times I gotten fucking shooed out by the audience who doesn't think that Rhea is a great wrestler? Rhea is great. A lot of women have their best matches with Rhea. You may not like that. You may not agree with that. You may not like Rhea Ripley, but you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You got to call a spade a spade.
Exactly.
Would any of those women that I mentioned get the same benefit as a Rhea Ripley?
No.
The answer is a no.
Yep.
So why is Rhea Ripley holding the women's championship while she's injured? You know, if you put the women's championship on the line in a match, a ladder match, or any type of match at SummerSlam, you make that match instantly more important. All you're doing is taking a championship that isn't really the championship, and you're putting it on the line at SummerSlam, and you're going to crown a pretend champion. So WWE's taken away most of the importance of what these women are fighting for, because they're not fighting for the women's championship. They're fighting to become second to Rhea Ripley. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with this? Additionally, WWE is putting all these women that are qualifying for this match in a ladder match. Don't we have Money in the Bank in October? Don't the women have a Money in the Bank ladder match opposite the men in October in New Orleans? What makes you think WWE is going to make this match any different than the ladder match at Money in the Bank?
Exactly.
The only difference is the ladder match at Money in the Bank will include one more superstar, and if WWE is frisky, they'll fill the match up with 8 superstars.
Yeah, go to show you Money in the Bank really doesn't mean anything. We got the ladder match at SummerSlam.
Some years it's 6, some years it's 7, some years it's 8. Do you give them the benefit of the doubt to make each match different? 2 ladder matches in a 2-month span is not what I really want to see, being that we see already an overabundance of ladder matches. I would love somebody to come and combat me and tell me when I'm speaking out of line or speaking bullshit. There's a reason why people congregate here when we career. What do I know, man? Fatal influence. They exist, pal. Okay. Alrighty then. Trick Williams, Terrence Bud Crawford, and Cody had to do was say whips. Tag team champions. The jury is still out on whether... The time I'm watching this all unfold, there was a clear vantage point for Jessica Carr to go and look at what was going on, and she did everything in her power to ignore exactly what was going on. And I don't know where she fits in. I don't even know what she's capable of. She's not a difference maker. She's just one of those people that's happy to be back home, and WWE's happy to give her a home. The women's tag team division and the women's tag team stuff on television is some of the worst produced wrestling in all of the business. It is awful. Everything about their matches, everything about the teams, the stories, all of it is just fucking garbage. It is terrible. Genuinely just bad television. And I don't care about anything that's happening. Not a single fucking thing. But the only thing that mattered here is Fallon Henley and Lane Reed are the new tag team champions. Kathy Kelly. Donna. This was a no disqualifications match. Obviously, Dominic Mysterio was out there. Danhausen and the New York Knicks is the big story here. So we got a film from the WWE studio, which was branded the WWE Studio Housing. And they called this short film The Curse Father. I guess WWE's getting into the short film genre now. We saw this with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins in their build up to the match that they have at SummerSlam. So they ran down what led up to this match tonight. There's a big blimp circling the ring. Danhausen got his blimp. Not the first time we've seen the Danhausen blimp, though.
Well, might as well just end the video. I made this long enough. Hit that like button, leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. I will make more videos. Monday Night War live stream on Monday. I'll play some more 2K games. Until then, I'll see y'all later.